The following is a review of the comic and should not be looked at as an endorsement of the creators involved. If you really think that, you should get yourself checked because you are reading things into it that are not there. Also, the quality of this video is pretty low, so if you're expecting higher standards, go check out someone else. What you see is what you get. So thank you and enjoy. Or don't.
Hey guys, StarCraft here, and well, continuing with my series of the End reviews, I'm going over the only one here that's actually canon. Well, canon within its own title, because the End was more of a symbolic thing, and that's Spider-Girl: The End. I love Spider-Girl. It's one of my favorite books, but unfortunately, yeah, by the time I got into it, I did get the initial trade with it, but I wasn't collecting comics regularly by that time. By the time I did, well, to be honest, most of the books were hard to find, or they didn't do that many collections by that point, various other reasons, and I'm a completionist, so I never really bought them, sadly. I know. More kept up with it through online means, but when this came out, I had to get it. I was well already caught up with the majority of what's been going on, and this, well, funny thing about this one shot is it does close the door. And as far as I'm concerned, this is still the end for Mayday. Um, Spider-Verse and all that, if it wasn't for Spider-Geddon, I'd say forget it. But this was a good way to end to wrap at least one of the biggest plot points that had been going on for a while. Because the funny thing about this is, it's Spider-Girl the end, but it's not really about Mayday. We'll get into that. As well, it opens up with this old woman, goes by Auntie M, who's telling all of these children about the end of Spider-Girl. As basically everyone adores hearing about Mayday, about Spider-Girl. They can't get enough about her. And then they bring about April Parker. Now, just to point out that April was basically a clone of Mayday, although she believes she was the original, and she was bonded with a symbiote, called herself Mayhem. And she was a genetic hybrid with the abilities of a symbiote that truly believes she was the real deal. April grew up alone without anyone to teach her right from wrong. Although she possessed great power, she never really embraced any personal responsibility. As well, it opens up with Mayday just swinging around, just wondering, what's been going on. How April's been going around doing her own Punisher style of justice. And she comes back home to meet up with her family, Peter, MJ, and her brother Benji. And she then takes him up to put him to bed, as he loves his sister. Then, at school and everything, she just meets up with them all when all of a sudden her spider sense goes off, and, well, she has to make an excuse to run off. Although, for once, we actually find out what seems to get a good understanding. Meanwhile, she comes in and, well, spider sense goes off as April shows up, meeting her on the roof. Basically, they are now, April is fed up. She's like, okay, you will declare yourself as me as the real deal. And Mayday is basically like, nuh-uh, not having any of it. Now, April also keeps thinking, like, everyone else is a bunch of wimps. I get the job done. They can't stop me. No one can. Until finally it leads into a fight. As Mayday is basically like, doesn't matter what I call myself, I'm the daughter of Spider-Man. I love how she says, like, please let it be this easy. Please let it be this easy. It's not. As they keep on fighting until they lead into an abandoned building across the street. As they just keep tussling and turning, sparks cause fire to go off. And then Mayday notices a beam is about to fall on top of April. She tries to warn her. April doesn't listen, so she pushes her out of the way. She's about ready to help Mayday out in her own bitter tone. But then Mayday notices there's a bunch of flammable chemicals, so she uses impact webbing that knocks April right across, webbing her to the building across the street as she watches as the building explodes, taking Mayday with it. And April is just, yeah. Yeah. And but basically then the kids are like, oh, but that's not the end of the story. Yeah, come on. As they Taurus, that was the son of Johnny and Elijah, Johnny Storm and Elijah, walks up to they basically say they have to go head out. As yeah, all the kids are put to bed to be safe from the biopreds. We'll get to that. But and Taurus asks like, why do you tell him all this? To make yourself the villain? And we find out it's April. As she basically explains how, yeah, I am the bad guy. How basically she tried to go home and retake over Mayday's life. No one bought it. Benji could tell, and Mary Jane was furious. And April decided to go off, and she just kept escalating things, doing her own vigilante justice. People would then try to send criminals. She'd kill them until she had killed off American Dream, the successor to Captain America. After that, and it was an accident, it really was, but that didn't stop people from basically taking the remains of Carnage and create a bunch of what they call biopreds. Unfortunately, the symbiotes took over and started to take over the world. Mayday in April, Mayhem did what she could, but unfortunately, they are the last surviving spot of Earth, of humanity on Earth, and they realized they found them finally. So April makes her way down to meet up with Cassie Lang, Stature, and Mayframe, the artificial intelligent continuation of Iron Man, as the biopreds make their way in. And I love this part. They're using Doom's time machine. And when it's pointed out, with great power comes great responsibility, April points out the great distinction. There must also come great responsibility. A subtle but profound difference. And she's right. As well, they don't know, but since they didn't have time to figure things out, basically they just sent her off in a rush as everyone is gone and is slaughtered. And back during the fight, future Mayday shows up right in the middle of the wall, except for her arm. And she realizes she's dying, and she's like, oh no, did this happen already? Do I fail? No, I won't allow it. As she then sends a tendril right into her past self, sharing all of her memories as she dies. From clone degeneration. Yeah, she really was the clone. And the same moment when Mayday was about to push April out of the way, nope, April let the beam fall on her and she knocks Mayday right out of the building, like Mayday did to her, and says, say goodbye to the family for me. I really did love them in my own way. As everything blows up and Mayday is horrified. Yeah. Basically a repeat of what happened before. Wes finds out about what happened with Spider-Girl, so he hurries to meet up with Mayday, who told everyone about what happened. And they are like, Peter feels a little snippy, but even he admits like, I don't know what's gotten into me. He didn't want her to suffer. As they all just are mourning her. As Wes shows up, and he's like, I just want to see her right. Why wouldn't I be? I know. And I love her reaction. She's like, you do? Oh. How long? Long enough. As, yep, it ends with, well, it was asking, where do we go from here? And that's the end. Wrapping up the April was probably one of the biggest plot threads they had to deal with. And this just worked really well. Again, this was more about resolving April than it did Mayday, but really, if you're going to end it, you got to resolve that. And it still points out why Mayday was a better character. And again, April was just such a tragic figure. So, yeah, that was the final official full version, not tying the Spider-Verse, Spider-Girl story. Mayday has popped up since then. And again, Spider-Geddon's kind of resolved a lot of the issues that Spider-Verse had done. And it's basically, again, they had some nice stuff like having Mayday meet up with Anna from the Remember Renew Your Vows storyline and series universe was very nice and touching. There's just been such roller coaster things done with Mayday, but that being her finale was worth it. So that's all I gotta say. Not sure if I'll be doing it at the end tomorrow, or if I'll do one of the other loose the end, like I might do Spider-Man Rain. Who knows? Until then, catch you guys later.